Sorry, 1 second. So I am the job coach for the Young Money Managers. For those that don't know me, or for those that were not present during our first workshop, we had our first workshop last week, and this is our second one. So it's great to see you guys again. So one thing about myself that I thought I would share for you guys to get to know me is that I have a daughter. Her name is Emma, and she's a year and a half. And I love being a job coach. I love this program. I love helping you guys reach your goals. I love helping you guys reach your full potential. So let's introduce all of the Young Money Managers. And Cozy, if you would want to start.
Hi, everybody. I'm Nkosi. I'm a Young Money Manager. I've been a part of the STL Youth Jobs program for 3 years now, and this is my first year being a Young Money Manager. Something about me, I enjoy investing in the stock market. I've been doing that for probably coming up on a year, if not already a year. And yeah, it's really, really fun for me.
What was the question?
The Young Money Managers are going to introduce themselves. That's what we're doing right now.
Returning alumni for the SDLU jobs. I just taught on what smart goals and budgeting.
Jeremiah, we're having a hard time hearing you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so I'm Jeremiah, and again, I'm the Young Money Managers. I'm a returning alumni for the SDLU jobs, and I recently taught on smart goals and budgeting, and can't wait to hear about the car buying.
Alexis, if you want to go ahead and go.
Yeah. Hello, my name is Alexis. I am also alumni of STL Youth. I've been in it for 3 years, and this is my first year as a Young Money Manager. I just recently graduated from the University of Central Missouri with a Bachelor's of Science in Business Management. And something I like to do is go skating and hanging out with my friends.
Thank you, guys. Now, I guess we will introduce our speakers for tonight's presentation. Dania, if you want to go ahead and take it away.
Yes, ma'am. So hi, everyone. My name is Dania Adams, and this here is Miss Hi. All righty, and so to kind of start off, also with us, we are both alumni of STL Youth Shop, and we both are Young Money Managers. And today we're here to talk to you all about car buying. So let's hop into it. All right, so kind of we're gonna start off with introductions. All righty. So going first, you all know me as Dania. You already know I'm a Young Money Manager. But I want to kind of talk to you guys a little bit of why I chose the topic of car buying. Car buying is really important to me because I actually have a car now, and I've watched a lot of my family members actually recently buy a car. So I'm like, hey, there's a couple things like they getting over on. And so it's really important to me. And I also kind of have a little bit of the experience myself with having a car. So yeah, kind of just to, bring the more awareness about it, especially at a young age.
Hi, you guys. My name is Charity Cotton, and this is my first year with Money Managers. I'm 22 years old. I have 2 kids. And I was really into car 101 because right now I don't have a car, but I am saving for a car. So this is very important for me to talk about. I feel like, we should learn more about car buying so, we can all have our dream car one day and make sure it's, useful to us. And I'm very excited to present this and so
Most definitely. So kind of since you know a little bit about us all, we're kind of interested to learn about you all. And so I'm gonna ask that for our icebreaker, some of you all could come off mute and just tell me a little bit about yourself, your name, your age, and do you actually have a car? If so, what kind of car do you have? And if you don't have a car, is that potentially one of your goals to have?
Do you want us to talk now or wait until you're done?
Huh?
My name is Terrence. I like playing the game. I like sports. No, I don't have a car yet, and I'm 16.
We still got time.
Huh?
We still got a lot of time.
I know. Thank you.
Teach you about that some more today.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, my name is Aria Richardson. I'm 19 years old, and my goal right now is to save up on a car. So I'm saving up money right now.
Okay.
just like me.
Yes, ma'am. And what kind of car are you looking into?
Well, I'm interested in a Honda Civic or a Kia Forte. It's like my top 2 right now. So
Okay. Okay, we're gonna be doing a little something with that a little bit later. So stay tuned.
thank you.
All right, my name is Janae Lattimore. Y'all might know me. Yeah, I do. I ain't gonna say Mike. I'm 22. Yes, I have a car, but it ain't working right now. And what was the other question?
Name, age. You basically covered everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone else wanna get on here and say anything?
Hi, my name is Mary. I am 18 years old. I do not have a car yet, but I plan to get one my sophomore year in college.
Okay. And what grade are you in right now?
A freshman in college.
Mm-hmm.
Still freshman in college.
Okay. Look at you setting those goals. And we're gonna also hit on that too, about making those smart goals about buying a car. So is that it for everyone? Give us one moment. Trying to figure out the best way how to do this. Okay, so give us one moment. All right.
Okay, we're gonna get on before buying the car. So, do you guys have any questions before we get on this topic about before buying the car? Do you guys have any questions about anything? Okay, on to the next one.
So everybody's really familiar with them, I'm guessing.
Mhm.
All right, so
Okay, where to buy a car? There are many places you can buy a car, and there are different ways, you can do it. You have dealerships, you have new and used cars, and then you have private sales. You have websites like CarMax, Carfax, and new and used cars. Rent to own, auto centers, and those are used. Do you guys have any other questions about that?
And also, if you all have any questions, you could just come off mute, because I know sometimes you all overlook or anything, or or the chat is really helpful also. So any questions, drop them down in the chat and Amanda's gonna let us know if you all have any or anything. Yeah, so basically these are the places you can buy a car. All right, and so I'm gonna touch on a little bit more in depth of when you are buying from these different places. So as most of you know, a dealership versus a private sale. So dealerships it's a lot of times I've heard of. It comes with a lot less risk. So basically, the title would be clean. For those of you who do not know, like what it means to have a clean title, it means that the car is still sellable, all the information, who's the owner, who was the previous owner. It's something which is basically really important, and we're going to touch on it a little bit more when we talk about the legal aspects of buying a car. And also when you buy a car from a dealership, it's a lot easier to have past inspections and all those different things. So a lot of times it has to go through different things before it goes on the lot. And there's also this sense of security when you're actually buying a car from a dealership. So as you know, hey, say if I go buy a car off your lot right now, I know that it will work. Because there's this extra sense of security, it will cost you extra fees. The different things of say, hey, you have more option and variety of what you want. So that can possibly in the long run cost you more. There's extra warranties and different things like that you could get with buying from a dealership. And all of this lets it be less risky, with that sense of having the security of knowing, hey, I could go get my money worth somewhere, or I have the insurance that if some don't work on this car, I could bring it back within a certain amount of time. And so it is a little different when you buy from a private sale. For those of you who may not know what I actually mean with a private sale, but I'm pretty sure all of you have seen this before. Say like your neighbor or friend, or maybe someone on Facebook, friends, or anything is selling a car. This is considered a private sale. It does come with a lot more risk, which is, as we talked about, having a title. Sometimes cars do not come with title, which can cause a lot of problems, especially when it's time to get your plates and all those different things. And a simple thing is the title cannot be, there might not be a clean title, as to say, hey, if someone tries to sell this car and you actually get the car and you could not get your place or anything. And for those of you who do not know what a lien is, it is when the bank puts up this certain thing against your car saying, hey, you cannot sell me, you cannot do nothing with me until you pay off this certain debt. And so until that is paid off, and sometimes could be paid off by you, by the previous owner, you cannot do anything with that car. So it's a sense of almost putting the lockbox on the car without literally locking it up. And also with these private sales, some people don't have to pass inspection in order to pass them. There is less security when buying it because you have more of a risk of getting a car that actually does not work. But, with a lot of this being the less security, it's actually cheaper for you to do this. And this is when it becomes a lot more risky, because a lot of times people can sell you a car as is. In the as is, that's a dangerous place to play, because someone could sell you a car and they know in their heart that it does not work. Others may sell you a car and it stops working, but they're like, oh, I'm so sorry about that. You could have your money back or I could fix it. This is not a promise guaranteed. So if you do want something with a lot less, less having to worry about, with a lot more, secure in it, I do reference that you buy from a dealership. But hey, I'm not putting down private sales, because private sales actually, you could actually find a really good deal with those. So it's all in how you do it, and just make sure you be careful from whoever you buy, because sometimes dealerships can be risky as well. So, all right.
Okay, you guys, we're gonna get on the topic of new versus used cars. Do you guys know anything about that? Do you guys have any questions? Okay, so when you're buying a,
Can I point out something really fast?
yes,
So we want you guys to do at this, when we're talking about these different aspects of car buying, we want you to think about what's going to be best for you when you want to buy your car. Brainstorm, take notes as we're presenting. Maybe a new car is best for you after we talk about a new versus used. So just think about what will be best for you in your situation.
What's the question?
So basically she said, you know, just as we go through this presentation, do take notes about it and understand that with all of this information, it will be on a personal level of how you interpret it, because buying a car varies from person to person.
I got a question. Why buy a car if the title don't come with it?
Some people actually do though, and some people are uninformed of this information. So
I'm talking about from a dealership. I know you when you buy a car from like a friend or something, yeah, they give you the title stuff. I'm talking about like when you buying a new car from the dealership, why buy the car if they don't give you the title? Or at least try to give you like paper title until you like actually get your real title.
So
your license plate.
Yeah, so most times they actually do give you a title at the dealership. I know a lot of times with private sales, that's when the title can get a little rocky within that situation. Yeah.
yeah. So any more questions before I start? Okay. So me, for example, I feel like I need a used car for my first car because it's less expensive, and I just feel like right now that's in my budget because, you know, I have 2 kids, so this is what I feel more comfortable with. But when you're buying a new car, it's brand new, you know, have no mileage, you know, you're not gonna have, you know, much problems with it at all because it's a brand new car, and it's more expensive though, so it's gonna be really pricey. But having a new car is nice. I mean, the outside is all shiny and clean, you know, you're not gonna see specks of crumbs all over the floor or nothing like that. It's brand new, you know, no one's rode in it but you. So you know, it comes with the price, but it's very important to know things about new cars, you know, versus used cars. But a lot of people, especially my sisters, their first cars were used cars. They didn't get new cars because, you know, it's very expensive, especially you're gonna have a lot to pay if you're getting a new car. And also you don't want to put yourself in debt. So always keep in mind that it's very important to write down a budget for yourself when you're buying a car.
Most definitely. Even my first car is used. I have a 97 Cavalier, so it's very old, but it's all about how you take care of it. It still runs like I wouldn't say brand new, but it runs really nicely.
And also keep in mind, always have someone go with you when you're looking at a car, because that's very, very important, because you don't want to go to a dealership and there's a dealership man, he's like persuading you, hey, you need to get this car, you know, look at it, you know, you're like, you don't want to be in those situations because, you know, when you go to dealerships, they can manipulate you sometimes, and you don't want to be that person. You're like, but I want to, you know, look at the cars, but he's persuading me that you get this car, you know, it could be a used car and it could have problems that you don't know. So that's also very important. Always make sure you write things down, make sure you have someone that have bought a car that, you know, are really good with, you know, keeping a car as well. About like
why they trip off the miles, like, cause my mom, they trip off the mile. They trip out like how much mile is it? Why they trip off the mile? I always want to know that.
Yes, that's very important as well. You don't want to get something over 100,000, right? Am I right? So you want to keep it less than that because that's very important, because
why?
Cars can run out.
Yeah. And kind of a little bit more to touch on that is once you have to realize once a car has done 100,000 miles, that means it has been on road trips, it has been through this and that. And so it puts your car at a much higher risk of running properly, you know. So say if you've been on so many road trips or went through so many St. Louis potholes, and if y'all know,
all around the state.
Yes, so it just puts you at a lot higher risk for the car being able to be broke down. But with that, you know, sometimes you have to see the car for actually what it's worth. So some days it might have a lot of miles, but drive just as good because the person may have kept up the maintenance. But in a lot of people's eyes, a lot of miles is a dangerous game to play.
Yes. Because, you know, I didn't really know much about mileage or anything. So I was like, what? Like, I was so confused. But, you know, learning more about cars, you know, you'll have more knowledge about stuff when you're about to buy your own car. So I'm gonna come through that. All right.
I will add really fast that the less miles, the more expensive, the more miles, the cheaper. So it really also depends on your situation and what you can afford, because if you can afford a car with fewer miles that you want the security of knowing that it's going to last you longer, then go for it if you can afford it. But if you can't afford a car that is that you want, if you can't afford a car with fewer miles, then it's okay to jump up to more miles if just depends on your situation, your budget.
That's why they say buy the car with the less miles on there.
Yes.
It's like the closer it is to being new and having less wear and tear on it.
Y'all helping me a lot because I don't know nothing about cars. I got a car and don't even know what's wrong with it.
We're all learning something. That's what we're here for. All right. Okay, guys, this is very important. Needs versus wants. Okay, you guys. This is a very important topic for me because, like I said, I have, you know, 2 kids, and I just need a car with the basic things to having, you know, a car. I would love to have something, you know, a lot of things that I would want in the car, but I also have to think about my budget and what I really need for my first car. Because you don't want to get a car, these are the wants right here. You don't want to get a car that has all of these things, which most likely it will be expensive. And you don't want to be paying all this stuff and you're like, oh my God, like I should have just got something, you know, what I needed before. Because we all go through a point in our life where we, you know, we really want a lot of things. So, you know, especially going to the store, you might see some new shorts or shirts or shoes and stuff. And you're like, oh my God, like I really, you know, and you haven't paid your phone bill, you know, or you haven't paid your bills at home or, you know, stuff like that, you know, and then you're buying all this stuff. And then you're like, dang, I need to pay for this and I need to pay for that. And now I don't have no money. And then you're going to be sitting there wishing that you would have went your needs before your wants. So that's very important, you guys. So I'm going to let Dania say a few things and you're going to come back to me.
So yeah, I could really vouch for this needs versus wants. For me, like knowing that I have an older car, so let's be realistic. We ain't got no push start, we ain't got no remote start. My car could have came with a sunroof, but at the time the previous owner, I guess they ain't want one, so I guess we ain't got one. We don't have heated seats, rear view cameras, DVD players, tinted windows, GPS, none of that. We don't have any. We do have the air conditioning work, the seat belts, airbags, headlights, a working radio, and a spare tire. We have everything that it needs. But my point to make to that is my car is still drivable. I'm still getting from point A to B without all of that new stuff. And me personally, it helped me drive better because if I'm relying on a rear view camera, especially with my first car, you might have less chance of knowing how to drive when you actually get put in that predicament without having a rear view camera and things like that. I say on this one, 4-wheel drive varies because, you know, we all live in St. Louis, so the weather can be crazy a lot of times. But, you know, there are some cars I heard that is made for the snow without having to be 4-wheel drive. Me personally, I know for my next car that this is a need for me to have 4-wheel drive because I live on hills. And so I need that 4-wheel drive to get up and down the hills versus a person who might just be, you know, on flat grounds the whole way. And so it really differs for each person. And say if you're a person, you know, this might not be your first car, you might be doing a step up. If you need OnStar, say, hey, a lot of times my phone be dead, so I'm not really good with that. I might need OnStar, and it comes with the GPS and all of that. And you can be like, hey, I know a lot of times in the winter, I might need this remote start. You still had a key in it, but hey, it varies from every person to person. But when we say straight up wants, which is DVD players and tinted windows and all of that, that's not a necessity. You know, that's something you really want, but it does vary from person to person. But you still also want to, you know, kind of different thing.
Okay. You guys have any questions?
Can I add one thing? Another thing, so make sure that you have all this information written down before you buy your car. I just want to emphasize that. Because you don't want to show up to the dealership and say, oh, I don't know what I want in my car. Well, then they're going to try to sell you something that has all these bells and whistles, but you can't afford it. So you have to go into the dealership knowing exactly if you're going to even go to a dealership, if you're going to do a private sale. If you're going to do a private sale, then your options are limited. But if you're going to go to a dealership, you got to know those items. You got to know your needs versus your wants. You got to know what was the other one? If you want a newer used car. So just make sure that you have all of that research done before you go.
Most definitely. And that was something I kind of noticed when my mom first bought her car. That was like, so what are you looking for today? And we was like, really, question mark? And so, yeah. So make sure you write down what you want. And kind of going off that, we're going to keep it realistic for a moment. I know you all have seen the car movie or whatever. And so my favorite thing about it is the third movie. It shows that every car gets old. Every car, don't matter how popular you might be back in the day, but every car gets old. And so this is the example from the third movie, as to where Lightning McQueen was starting to get old. They were starting to come out with some electric race cars, you know, and different things that probably could do a lot more than Lightning McQueen could do. And so it just goes to show, like, cars do depreciate, but he was able to, you know, maintain and stay in that last race. At times he had challenges, yes, he did, but he was still able to maintain because he kept up with himself. Even from when Lightning McQueen, let's go backwards, even when Lightning McQueen was popping, I don't know if y'all know the two old heads who had the cleanest Cadillac, you know, and they were older, but they rolled smooth. They were nice looking. That's because they took care of them. But you do want to remember, no matter what car you get, no matter all the accessories you're gonna get, a car will update. You know, and once upon a time, remote start was the thing. Like, it was the most popping thing. They say, hey, we can do something better than that. Fast forward, we have push starts. You don't even need a key. You don't even need the remote to start it. You know, you could actually start your car from your phone now. And so you do want to remember, no matter what you get, there is still always something new. So you don't want to put every last of your dollar or go broke or really go out your budget for these new things. A great personal example I have is when my car was popping, my car was a limited edition. I don't know what's so limited edition about it because you have to roll up and roll down your own windows. But back then it was popping. It came with a nice radio, good I don't know what was so limited edition about it. But with that back then in 97 being limited edition, fast forward, it don't have none of these new cars got. So I always just think about that. But don't matter, the accessories do not make your car. It makes what you put into it and how much love and care, just how far it goes. So that's how Lightning McQueen made it to the third movie. So yeah. All righty.
Okay, buying the car. Okay, we're gonna get on this topic and we're gonna go by, do you guys have any questions? I'm sorry. So it's very important to know when to purchase a car. Like I said, you guys might also want to have someone come with you and stand there with you because there's a lot to come with just buying the car. You know, you have to make a list of things that you need to do when you have the car and when you buy the car. You don't want to just go there with, sometimes you won't always get the car that you guys want. Okay, I'm just gonna point that out there because you may say, okay, well, I'm gonna go on that lot and I'm gonna get that Mustang. That's what I'm gonna get, hands down. I'm not getting any other car. I don't care what they show me. You might want to get the Mustang, but what if the Mustang is not, you know, in your budget? What if the Mustang was so high that, you know, you didn't have that kind of money? So you've seen a Toyota, you know, and you're like, oh my God, like, I don't even want this. And then you know, really want the Mustang. Sometimes you have to, like I said, you have to go what you need and not what you want. And a Toyota not that bad. You may not have the Mustang, but the Toyota is not that bad. And you know, you can use that and you can drive it and it will provide you air. It will provide you heat. You know, you have a little radio, you know, you might have a little, you know, to plug in, you know, it's okay. But you can, you know, use that. And it's not always about what we really want, you know, like we're not going to get everything that we want. So sometimes we have to start off with our needs. So when you're about to purchase a car, just have in mind that you won't always get what you want. You might have to just get what you need. And always have someone with you, because like I'm going to keep telling you guys, because this is very important, because you don't want to be on that lot and this man is really trying to sell you this car and you're like, this is your first time buying a car and you're kind of confused, you know, but you have to always keep this stuff in mind and always make a list, pros and cons, always make a list, your budget. And we're going to get to the next thing.
Somebody had a question in the chat.
Okay.
And it's actually a really, really good question. She asked, is there anything specific that you recommend us not to say to a car salesman?
I would say, like Amanda touched on, hold on, give us one moment. Oh, okay. So one thing I would say you don't want to say to a car salesman is, it's up to you. Everything is in your hands. You never want to give the salesman full control of anything.
Right.
Even if you don't have, just go with a budget, anything. So you want to go in with like a budget, how much you willing to spend, go in with your list. You want to do all that so he won't feel the need to have all the power and be like, okay, I've been trying to get this car off the lot for a minute. Let me soup her head up to go get it. So you always want to have those expectations so no one can overpower you, and always feel like you're the person in control. So as to say, don't ever let a salesman tell you that, hey, I could sell you this for this, or this has such and such a, be like, okay, let me look at a couple more things. Let me see my options. And don't always be so quick to buy it. Like,
Always
don't.
keep your options open and make sure they don't persuade you. Because sometimes, like all the girls in this chat, when you just want your feet done, you go to the nail salon. They really, really, really persuade you to get your nails done, don't they? And then you be like, no, like I don't have money for that. Like I gotta do this. And they're like, no, come on, get your nails done. You deserve it. Like you need that, girl. Like you need it, And you're like, no, like I just want my feet done. Like I don't really need my nails done. And they keep persuading you. You don't ever want to be, in that moment why a dealership's trying to persuade you to get, a car that you're like, I'm not sure, like I kind of want to look at the other cars first, and you keep standing here saying, come on, you need a car, it's right here, it's all shiny and clean, you always need to stand your ground and know what you want and have somebody with you. You don't ever want to get persuaded and then you get stuck with the car that have problems or it's not working or some stuff is going on that you don't like. So that's very important. Keep that in mind, guys, because they will persuade you.
Can I add one other thing? Oh, sorry to interrupt.
No, you're fine.
It's hard to hear. So another thing is there's a video actually about what not to say to a car salesman. So I will, whenever we send out the email with the survey, I'll include that video and a couple other videos. They're short, they're like 5 minutes long. So you guys can watch them and get more information on that. So that'll be included in the email, so look out for that. And then also there's a few facts at the end of the slide about like kind of how to interact with the salesman. So just hang on tight for the end. There's going to be more.
Okay, ways to buy a car. You guys know any ways to buy a car? Okay, so first thing is cash, and the second thing is get an auto loan from a local credit union or AKA, financing, bank. But it's very important to keep your options open. And also you can use a card. And if you have enough for a purchase with your dealership, you can also pay by card. Okay.
Johnny, I see you got a question.
I thought you need a check stub to get if you trying to buy a new car. I thought you need a check stub or any any check stub that requires you that you work with. I thought you need a check stub in order to get a car. Cause my sister had to get one. She had a check stub.
Yes, and I'm glad you spoke on it. That is something we forgot to mention. But John A is very right. So a lot of times when you do go purchase, especially from a dealership, you find it's a lot less during a private sale, but especially at dealerships, you do have to show proof of income. And so there can be a pay stub or payment and things like that. So they do want to make sure, yes, do you got the money? Do you have the income coming in order to pay for this car? So thanks for reminding me about that also. Yes. Because they do check for proof, just like they do a credit check, say, hey, are you a trustworthy person for us to give you this car? And are you going to pay us back?
Right.
And what you guys can learn a little bit more on. Check out our piece.
Yeah, what Janae said was very important. You have to bring check stubs to a lot of things that you do, apartments, they're gonna want to know also if you pay your bills on time. They're not gonna really, they're gonna sell it to people, but you gotta also keep that in mind. They're gonna be looking at your credit a lot.
So they gonna be looking at your credit, your check stub and your credit score. Cause what if your credit score like bad, but you got a check stub and it's like it's showing you that you pay everything on time, but they not selling it to you because you got bad credit score. Cause they do look.
I'm sorry, there's some places that do accept people with bad credit. So I'm not saying that you're gonna have to have perfect credit scores, but just keep in mind a lot of, you know, popular dealerships are gonna have to have, you know, good credit. Unless you're paying with cash, you know, cash down. You have it all like boom, right there on the spot.
And we're also gonna touch on that about how much do your credit card and your credit score affect how much you pay in your financing availability for your car. So give me one moment. Okay, there we go. And I'm gonna let Charity kind of break it down to you exactly what financing is and the interest rates.
Financing a car means taking out a loan that you will repay over time. It's very important that you guys I will get to that, but like car notes, you know, you're not gonna have all the money right there on the spot. So that's what car notes are for. You're gonna be paying that, you know, over time until, you know, it's yours. You guys gotta also keep in mind, you guys have to be very careful when you guys taking out a loan. That's very, very important because you don't want to, you know, be stuck in debt and sit there and like, dang, I can't pay this, or I don't have enough money for it. And you also will have to have a job, guys. I'm gonna keep that in mind as well. You can't just, you know, unless you're rich, you know. When you take out a loan, you agree to pay the amount that you borrow. You know, I just talked to you guys about that. That's very, very important. Plus, you have to pay fees, you know, within a set period of time. You know, it's gonna be once a month. So you're not gonna, 2 months later, I forgot to, you know, you can't do that, you guys. You have to be very responsible when it comes to paying your bills on time, you know, once a month, just like you pay your phone bill. You know, you feel like you can't live without your phone. You know, you're gonna have to pay that once a month. You can't forget about it because this is very important and you don't want that car to get because I've seen it a lot. I know you guys have. You guys be seeing the tow truck taking them cars, them nice new cars. You like, dang, like why are they taking that nice car? Like that is, you know, but you know, sometimes people don't pay their bills on time. That's very important. Shopping around and comparing loans could save you a significant, you know, money and interest and fees. So just keep that in mind, you guys. And what are interest rates? Do you guys know? Anybody? Okay. And interest rate?
It's a charge from the bank.
You said what?
It's how the bank gets their money from the investment.
Okay. Do you know a little bit about that? I mean, more about it? You want to explain to everybody?
For each loan, there will be an interest rate, and the higher the interest rate, the more you'll be paying back. And if you do not pay, it will be another charge and an increase in that interest rate.
Okay, look at you, like you know a little something. Okay, girl. All right.
Exactly.
That's what we're talking about right there.
All right. So since you all know a little bit about the interest rate, I'm gonna tell you how it affects your finance. All right. So like she said, this is an important step about financing because you don't want to be the person that get that embarrassment of the repo man coming to say, hey, let me get back my car. You don't want to be that person. Because the nosy neighbors, they'll question why.
They're like, didn't she just buy a new car like 3 months ago?
Yeah.
You don't want to be that person. That's full embarrassment.
And so I'm gonna help you avoid that, and I'm gonna help you be able to manage those monthly payments. Because as you guys know, or now we're learning about, you could actually finance a car through 60 months. Like Charity said, this is not a one-time thing or a two-time thing. If you are paying this big amount, you're gonna want to break it down. You don't want to come out of if you buy a car at the dealership, 24,000 all at once, or if you buy a used car at 25,000 at once. You want to get these payments broken down. You usually over time, the payments are broken down to 60 to 72 months, depending on what plan you actually do. But you know, getting that grand total, you do want to make sure you have lower interest rates and things like that. Because if you think about it, the longer you pay on a car, the more interest you are giving them. So the shorter time you are paying, that's less interest you got to pay on a car. You know, when you are purchasing a car and things like that, that's why you want to get those low interest rates in the first place. Because let's be honest here, you'd rather get them low because half the time they're unavoidable, especially when you're paying bigger sale prices. And kind of to expound on that is, say if I bought this car for $5,000, I want to get a 2% interest rate rather than the 5%. Knowing that I'm going to have to pay, they're going to want a little bit of profit off of that. But at the end of the day, I'm giving them less money, you know, and that's why you always want to go for that lower interest rate. And the ways you could get that lower interest rate is by, you know, building up their credit score. You know, if they see that you have a good credit score or even decent, you don't have to be an 800 or a full 700, but they see, hey, she pays her payments on time. Or, hey, we could see that, hey, she's doing really good with her credit. Let's give her a lower interest rate versus a person who has poor interest rates who will normally have lower credit scores. And so that do play a big part, and it could help save you a lot of money. And if it's not for you, it'll cost you a lot of money. But overall, it helps knowing what you pre-approved for when you go in. So basically going to your credit union or things like that and getting that loan, say, hey, if I go get a car today, what are you guys willing to give me? And you know, you also want to fight for that flexibility. If you don't know how much you're actually paying, go to Blue Book or something. You know, that's a really good trustworthy source that you can actually make reference to and say, hey, am I paying a decent price for this car? Like, oh, okay, yeah. They was like, this normal. And you know, just knowing about how much you're willing to spend will make this process a lot easier. And you know, you want to fight for flexibility. And don't let, like we said earlier, don't let them soup up your head, because after financing there, as you buy the car, they're going to try to add a lot more things to it, especially from the dealership, such as, you know, the different accessories and necessities and all those different things, and also different warranties and stuff like that. But we are going to touch on that a little bit later. So I know there was a lot. Any questions about financing the car?
Can I put the whole price on a credit card and then just pay it off by the end of the month?
Ooh, that's a good question. So
Okay.
if you was booming with the credit and had like let's say you buy a car for 25,000. If you had a credit limit of 25,000 or even higher, that'd be okay. But you normally do not want to do that. And I'm gonna get to you next thing, Cozy. And I would not recommend that, because let's be honest, would you be able to pay 25,000 before the next billing comes in? If you make an honest mistake like that, that's really gonna hurt your credit score. But an interesting thing is, if you do get a loan, it's another form and another line of credit, which also is kind of a little bit different, but similar to a credit card. So which you will have to pay on it monthly. So it actually helps your credit to buy over the month's time. And I'm gonna let Nkosi chime in a little bit more on that.
Okay, so can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, when it comes to buying things on your credit card, a car specifically, cars are a lot of money. And you guys can still hear me, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cars are a lot of money. And you don't really want to put too much on your credit card because you want to have a lower utilization rate on that card as well, because of the fact that a low utilization rate helps keep your credit score right, keep it up. And as you know, a credit score is another way of having low interest rates for cars. But if you do say you have a cheaper car, and say you got a $2,000 car and your credit card has a $5,000 limit, right? Or something like that. You used a lot of your credit, but you can pay that down before the end of the month. You don't have to pay it off all the way. And if you pay that down, the price that gets reported is just the price that's left on the balance. So paying it down will give yourself a lower utilization rate would also be a really good thing if you do.
And also kind of speaking on that, I don't know if he touched on it or not, but usually you could, we might have touched on this, another one of our PDs, but you can usually, you kind of want to stick to a 35 at most, but usually 25 through 35 is the most you want to use percentage of your total balance. And maxing out the card for a car, that wouldn't be the best thing, because as you think you might be increasing or saving yourself at the end of the day, that actually affects and lowers it instead of having the better thing of higher. So keep that in mind also. But usually how a loan will work, if you get it from the bank, the car is almost paid off for real. And because the bank has actually paid the car off, if you think about it. So now at this point, instead of owing the dealership, you're owing the bank or the credit union that money back, because they said, hey, I covered this debt for you, but now you owe me, and usually that's how it goes. But other times you can buy in finance straight through a dealership, and that means you owe the dealership directly credit union.
Oh, one more thing. Also keep in mind, anyone just can't loan from the bank. They're gonna have to look at if you have a job and stuff. That's very important. They're not gonna just if someone walking in, hey, I want to take down a loan today. You're gonna have some proof that you're very, I'm gonna say, stable. So keep that in mind, guys.
I'm glad you said that.
Yes, because a lot of people get confused, especially, buying houses and et cetera. You can't just, I'm gonna take out a loan today. It takes more than just, you're gonna have a little proof that you're a stable person, or you have something, like a job or something, because they're not gonna let anyone take it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. And then, let you talk about this one. So a little bit kind of going off, because I know I did ramble just a little bit and touched on, talking about how when you're financing, they can add different little things on there, especially at a dealership. Warranties, you won't probably get these with a private sale. Sometimes it is what it is. It's the last times what we like to say. In this case, it wouldn't be for you. But other times when you do get a warranty, which is just coverage for if anything happens to your car within a certain amount of time. Sometimes it's within the first 10,000 miles or the first 10,000 that you pay off of the car. It all depends on how it goes. And so with this, the best coverage to get is, especially for pre-cars, pre-certified pre-owned warranty, which covers it from head to toe, which is a really good thing to have. Also, with these warranties, it costs. So while you might be at a dealership and it's time to finance and get your plan together, while you sitting there agreeing to have tire warranty, front wheel warranty, paint warranty, all this stuff costs. So they might swoop it to you and not tell you that, hey, they be like, oh, you want paint warranty? So if anything happened that we gotta do a paint job, you cover it. But they won't tell you that's gonna cost you an extra 5,000 or extra 500. So do be aware that, you know, this stuff is extra and that it do cost. There are many different warranties, such as the common one is gap warranty. But certain cars, if you look at it, that all varies up to you. If you feel like, oh, yes, I really need this warranty, especially for what I'm going to use this car for, then get it. If other people like, I'm not going to really drive this car like that. So I'm fine with that. And, you know, just warranties vary, but they do cost. So always be mindful of that. So it's not really much on this one. It's kind of halfway a little bit self-explanatory, but don't be afraid of if they say any warranty. You can say, hey, what is that covered? Or what is this for? How much is that? You know, don't be afraid to ask questions, especially about stuff you don't know about. Because do you have a degree in selling cars? No. So it's okay to ask as many questions as you was like. So
I've kind of one other thing. So something that is also important about warranties is that you can negotiate a warranty, just like you can negotiate the price of the car that you're about to buy. You can also negotiate a warranty. So keep that in mind. You don't have to, if you want a warranty, you don't have to pay the amount that they're telling you.
Just this negotiable. And also, you know, with warranties, you might have them, and I really do stress on figuring out exactly what it covers, because a lot of the warranties sometimes can be petty. Like you might say, hey, I got warranty on this car, but it might be a small part. They're gonna be like, if I think something naturally damaged or you damaged it, it will not be covered. So just like they say your phone is water damage covered, but if they was like, you did this, we not paying for it, dealerships do it too. And so sometimes you really do have to fight in order to get your stuff fixed. And at times it's wrong, but do make sure you know what you are purchasing and getting and actually seeing if it's useful or not. So I really do want to stretch that to everyone. So let's move on to.
Okay, you guys. How do you know when to make a purchase? Okay. This is, very, very important because we were just talking, a little bit about it. You want to find a car that meets your needs. You guys don't want to go in the parking lot. Like I said, you want that Mustang, you don't need it, sweetie. You need to get what you need. You need to make sure you drive it and test it and make sure the car is driving smoothly. It's not puffing and puffing and you're like, oh my gosh, like what's going on? Like you don't want that to happen. Like I said, you guys want to test the car before purchasing it. Always look at the car, how you guys be looking at your shoes and making sure there ain't no marks on there. You need to watch it because that's very, very important. Because you're not gonna just walk in the store and just, I'm gonna get these shoes, and you're not even looking at the shoes. You're gonna want to make sure that the shoes are white and clean, okay? Make sure they fit and make sure that it's not creased or anything. You guys look at your cars. Make sure you really look at your cars, and find a cost that you feel comfortable with. You don't ever want to go there feeling nervous, unsure. I'm looking at this car, but I'm looking at this car, but he's telling me this. Go by your gut feeling, and please, 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 I will say it again, have someone go with you. You don't ever want to feel like you're being pressured to buy this car, or, you don't really know what you want. So you just, this is my first time buying a car. So like, why not get it? Always have someone with you that knows so much about cars and have experienced this. You don't want to be, undecisive and you just sitting there and like, oh my God, like, okay, I'm just gonna get this, you know, he's telling me that it's a good car, you know, I don't know much about cars, I'm just gonna listen to what he says. Always, always, always have somebody be there and help you, okay? Make sure you also look at if it's affordable for you to pay monthly. You know, you don't wanna buy a car and pay, you know, a little portion of it, and you're paying like $300, $400, $600, you know. Believe it or not, people pay that much a month. You know what I'm saying? My sister, she was paying like $600 a month for a car note. And then my sister, my other sister on my mom's side, she's not paying much. She's paying like 200, you know, 100 around that, you know. So it's very, very, very important to have someone with you so you can feel comfortable and you can feel like, okay, you know, this, you know, somebody's helping you. You know, you want somebody to help you. And you also listen to your gut feeling. Make sure you're okay with what you're doing and buying. That's it.
So, and also kind of to talk about when it's not time to buy a car. So if you feeling comfortable, you good with your price, you good with everything, what you got going on, you are okay with the purchase you have made. But for starters, like she said, if she said take someone that you know that might know a little something about cars, but I'm gonna tell you when not to buy a car. Don't buy a car when, you know, I don't know if we touched over this or not, but you can get your personal mechanic to go look at a car for you, you know, have them be like, okay, is this worth fixing, especially with older cars or pre-owned cars? Like, hey, I could look at this and say, hey, this might need such and such, and I don't know if this is the best investment, or hey, this good, this just needs something small. Let's get that. If they be like, nah, I don't want you looking at the car, I just need your money. We're gonna leave this car right
I
here.
want to back away about 10 feet off that lot.
Yeah, and then if you feeling pre-pressured, please don't get the car. Like we stressed earlier, have confidence. You are the dealer. You the one spending the money, so you the one who's gonna make this big purchase. All they doing is trying to talk you and soup you up into it. You know, and so be okay with walking away the first day. Say, hey, let me go home and look at this. Let me go evaluate a couple things. You might already know in your head, but make yourself seem like the boss. If you got this feeling in your gut, like this ain't the car I want, I'm selling, because you're gonna be mad about your investment. You're gonna drive the car half happy. You want to be completely happy with your purchase. If you drive some, I don't really care for this car, you're gonna be in trade in, and that comes with a whole nother process. If you don't do that right, that's gonna get put on top of your note. So you're gonna pay for yourself not being comfortable and not speaking up at first. So you want to make sure you speak up sooner rather than later, or you might be paying a $600 note because you're paying 2 months at once. You know, if you don't have all your questions answered about it and was like, you ain't answer this, like, I don't know about these warranties you trying to tell me, and you acting like you don't know any more than I know. That might not be it. That might not be the right place to buy a car, the right person. And, you know, just overall, if you had a gut feeling, be like, something ain't right about this. I noticed the car a little shaky. It might be time for a wheel alignment or something. Let them know.
I heard that squeaking when we was just driving down the road.
Don't
always listen. Keep your eyes open. Keep your ears listening. Don't ever be fooled, because even the most shiniest, nicest cars can be the ones that get you. That you have the nicest looking car on the block and your car not even working. It'll be sitting on the side of the road. So make sure you guys be observe, fill it out, have someone go with you, write down a list of your questions, write down a list of things that your car needs, or something that is, if you see something that is off that you don't, you know, that you know, like, hey, that's not right. Like, you know, I drive my mom's car and it does not sound like this.
Yeah.
You don't ever want to be in that situation.
Yeah. And especially, for example, you know, like during the first movie, Cars is one of my favorite movies. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but that's my movie right there. And you know how in the first car, Lightning McQueen, he looked all nice and shiny, but when they made him pave them roads and do what he needs to do, he couldn't do none of that. Like, you say you all fast.
Ain't that a cartoon show?
It's a movie. It's a movie we could officially say from back in the day.
Cars.
And yeah, it had a deeper meaning than just a cartoon. But
even Rusty was useful.
Yeah,
he was rusty on the outside, but he drove pretty good for me, you know.
Especially his reverse game.
You know, he was good. Y'all can't lie. Y'all cannot lie.
Okay. So we're about to move on. Okay, so let's move this over.
All right. After car buying, guys, registering your car. So do anyone know about registering your car? I'm sorry if you guys can't hear me, got the mask, but do anybody know anything?
You can also come on or answer the question in the chat.
Yes.
All up to you.
What's the question?
Do you know anything about registering your car?
No, but I need to know like what like information do I need to take to register a car?
Yes.
Okay, and what is that?
Like, do you need like what do you need? Like your photo ID? Do you need your social security? I don't know. See, I never bought a car from a dealership. I bought a car from my brother. So I don't know none of this stuff.
Okay, I'm gonna go into it a little bit. Of course, you're gonna need your driver's license, you know. You're gonna most definitely need that. You're gonna need proof of insurance. And I want you guys to write this down so you guys can know this and you guys can have your little notes when you buying your car. So this is very important. I don't want you guys to, oh dang, I left my driver's license and you at the car dealership. You don't even have your driver's license.
It's the DMV.
Right. The DMV, my bad, guys. So that's very important. You're gonna need a proof of sales tax payment. Okay, you're gonna need proof of past safety inspection. So I know you guys heard your mom or somebody that you know that had bought a car. You know, you hear about them talking about their safety, inspections. And then you're going to also most definitely need a car title or a signed lease agreement.
I see Janae got a question.
What if you don't have insurance, but like when they ask you the proof of your insurance, but what if you don't have it? Then what? They won't give you the car, or you got to go somewhere else.
So buying the car off the lot, you don't have to have insurance. But when it's time to actually get the car registered and insured, you actually do have to have insurance on it.
But you can have so what type of insurance? Cause
no, that's a perfectly good question to answer. So it all depends on the insurance that you have. And so a little bit going into that is there are three main types of insurance: liability, full coverage, and one is that one's kind of iffy. I wouldn't recommend that one.
So it's yeah, where can you get your insurance from? Because it's some places don't accept certain insurance. So
so personally, I'm with AAA, but I've heard of Aflac, Geico. Those are some really good ones. But I am gonna let you guys know, normally, especially for a young age, you will have a higher monthly bill of your insurance due to your age. Studies have shown that the funny thing is studies have shown that boys tend to have higher insurance than girls. Both is high, but boys are higher because they tend to drive a little bit less safer than the girls. And so, yeah, but while you're young, until you get at least into your 20s, your insurance will be higher. But I know you can stay on your parents most times until you're 24, especially their car insurance. And a lot of times while you're young, And if you have like an older car, we get liability insurance, which just means anything that anybody that you hit, their car will be covered and everything like that. So you wouldn't have to pay out of your pocket. But for your own car, you will be kind of played out, I would say. But for full coverage, it means that your car is protected if anything shall happen to it. And the next person's car, if anything shall happen to their car, both parties are covered. It's not just we cover your butt while you have to suffer. Both parties are actually covered. So.
Any more questions?
And we will so after this, we're gonna send out a couple things you could take away, and we will be sure to kind of add that on there a little bit more and dive into that and give you some great resources about that. So did that kind of cover a little bit of your question, Janae?
Oh, wait, what? Bro, I can't hear my thing going in and out.
Oh, you fine. We're gonna touch on a little bit more too right here. So you kind of just brought me into my next point. And also for those of you who don't know what insurance is, I'm gonna let Charity let you guys know what it is.
Okay,
Oh, I got one more question. So they gonna give you insurance when you buy the car. They go that
you're gonna have to do that yourself, and make sure you do it. Because you don't be driving without insurance, and then an accident happen, or and you'll be out of luck. Okay. Auto insurance is a contract between you and the insurance company, guys. It protects you against, car accident, death situations where someone, break into your car and, take stuff from you, or, stuff like that. I'm sorry.
To say what I need to say to him, something that he needs to hear right now.
I believe someone is off mute.
Okay, we can't understand you.
I don't think they purposely talking low key.
Oh, okay, maybe they are. They're not on mute. Okay, sorry about that, guys. So you guys, it's very important to have insurance when you have a car, because there's a lot of things that could happen. Just like you have insurance for your health, some people have insurance for braces, stuff like that. It's very important to have car insurance though, because anything can happen. You could just buy that car and you driving in the street and somebody hit you. And say you didn't buy that, you didn't get your insurance yet. Some people, they get it right there on the spot. They call, their insurance on the line and like, hey, blah, 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 but what if you just drove off the lot and someone just hit you? Really bad. I'm talking about dent on the back of your car and you don't have any insurance.
It really is important to get insurance.
Someone asked a question in the chat. Basically, she asked, on average, how long is the entire car buying experience? Because she knows some people who said it doesn't take long, but others it takes long. So I guess I can speak on that for me, since I bought my second car, but my first time buying from a dealership back in 2018. It took me a couple of days because I had to go to my bank to get information on I went to my credit union to get information on what kind of loan I was pre-approved for, and then also get information on what that interest rate will look like. So then I went back to the car dealership, presented that information to them to see if they could beat it. They couldn't beat it. So I went with my credit union's loan. And then I also had to take the car to the mechanic to make sure that he says that everything is good to go and everything looks good. So depending on how much you put into it, depending on, if you take it to the mechanic to get it double checked, if you want to test drive, if you go to your own credit union or bank to get a loan, it can take multiple days because for me, I was going after work hours. So I only had a couple hours every night to do this. If you had a whole day, maybe it could take less time, but you also have to rely on the mechanic's schedule to see when he's available to look at it. So it just depends. Some people it takes multiple days. Some people it can take a day, depending on how much stuff you do and how fast it can get done.
Most definitely. Yeah. And kind of going to the next one, we're gonna dive into how do you know which insurance is best for you? Like we said, there are many different types, but each person is different. And so these are the different kinds that I kind of touched on. I did touch on liability. You know, it does cover everyone else's things except for yours. Gap insurance, it's kind of, I don't know if any of you all have heard of it before, but hey, say if your car is totaled, which means that your car isn't drivable anymore, and the insurance company itself comes out and looks at it and be like, this isn't drivable anymore. And other times it'd be like, hey, in order to fix this car, it's gonna cost more than the car is actually worth right now. And so a lot of times that's what causes a lot of people, especially having older cars, is just to have liability insurance, because usually a lot of times this is what happened. They might throw you a couple hundreds or a couple of $1,000s, like 2 or 3. And sometimes, you know, it could just be worth getting it fixed, but for everybody's the first. And so with that, you know, having an older car, it's a lot less times that they say fix it, but with newer cars, I know they're a lot more be like, okay, we could fix this and things like that. And that's when gap insurance actually does come in, you know, and it doesn't work for every single time. Sometimes the gap insurance total, yeah, it overrides and be like, hey, I can't do anything about this, but I do ensure that you can make some money off of this car, even though it's not usable anymore, and that's on us. And I also talked about full coverage, you know, everything is covered on a car, you know, any and everything, both parties, if anything happens to it is covered, you could have anything. And you know, the thing that really kind of pushes and does what it does with this is the make and model of your car, your actual driving history, your age. Like I said, for young ladies and young men, it's very different because that helps. Being younger does affect it also. I don't know what just happened. But you know, there are a lot of factors that impact the features that your car has, because a lot of times if you have like a lot more features like reverse cameras, blind side, things like that, it actually do make your monthly bill lower because they say, hey, this car is less risky into getting into an accident. And, you know, and that a lot of times come up with what your premium gonna be. A lot of times it can help too, because when you pay for it, the deductible is another thing that kind of drives what your monthly insurance will be. Give me one moment. And to touch on that, it's kind of basically, you know, say, hey, if I'm willing to pay $500, if something happens, it's gonna cost me $500 for them to fix and pay the rest of the cost. I'm gonna have a lower monthly bill than the person who's gonna pay a higher monthly bill and gonna have to pay maybe $100. It's only $100 to get whatever you need fixed, but their monthly bill is gonna be a lot higher because their deductible is a lot smaller. Do you guys understand that? Do you want me to put it in different words? So kind of talk to me. Let me know what you're hearing. Yep, the chat's open, unmute, whoever you like.
Somebody said that it makes sense. So you guys can probably move on now.
Okay. Oops.
Okay, guys. Car maintenance. Okay. Do you guys, any of you guys know what that means? Did anybody say anything? in the chat? Sorry.
One person.
Okay.
Like repairing it?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Like repairing it and making sure it runs properly as best as you can?
Yeah. Really like getting oil changes once every 3 months, you know, or every 3,000 miles. And you know, usually you can go to a dealership or a a private mechanic, and usually that's just $35. It's not much. You know, stuff like checking your tires and you know, just making sure you have air in your tires and stuff like that, you know, your light bulbs, just really just keeping up with your car, you know, that's very important if you really want to have your car for years. You know, if you flying down King's Highway and acting like you don't even got wheels on the car, like the car is flying, you know, I don't think you'll be able to keep that car very long because you know, you're not really trying to take care of your car. Because I see a lot of people flying down the street on their cars, you know, and they acting like, you know, they be having some really nice cars too. So and they be acting like, you know, or, you know, sorry, but that's very, very, very important. And just always keep up with your car, you know, get it clean, you know, wash your car, you know, just make sure you take good care of it and make sure you're not, you know, driving, you know, through a lot of glass and nails and stuff like that. And just keep up with your car, you know, just take care of it. The longer you know, take care of it and you keep up with it, the longer you'll have your car for years. That's very important. So,
yeah. And
somebody was gonna say something.
Oh, my bad.
Was someone gonna say something?
I think that might have been Jenny.
Jenny, do you have anything to say?
Just basically adding on to that, my mechanic actually told me, and I've heard this from a lot of people, keeping your fluids up is key. So basically oil change, antifreeze, freon, the stuff that keep your car from running hot and keep your AC cold and keeping the different oils in there. And you know, that's the key part of it. Your car runs forever, you know, making sure that stuff is good. For most of us, we do live in St. Louis, so y'all didn't see the same potholes I didn't see maybe on King's Highway. And you have to take all that stuff into consideration because driving in those potholes is not good for your wheel suspension, your alignment, and all of that. So, and that is gonna cost you eventually. And so you want to make sure don't drive your car into the end. Get it checked up on. Say, hey, go to a trusted mechanic or something and say, hey, can you make sure my wheel's good? Can you make sure it's not time for a wheel alignment? Can you make sure everything is running properly? Making sure you got a good battery and all those different things. So make sure just to keep up your car. Don't run it dry.
Can't you check on your little you know the little thing when you driving the little dashboard where it say keep it with your gas tank and all that? Can't you check it right there? Like your tires like got low air in it and all that stuff. You know what I'm talking about? You on mute.
Repeat it one more time.
Can't you tell if your tires like running out of air and stuff like right there at the little like you know like it's the steering wheel, then it's like the little thing right there. You got you keep the gas stuff, all the extra other stuff with it.
Yeah, like it looked like an exclamation point in a circle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of times what will be on the newer cars, most definitely that. And also, like if you don't have that, there are things on Amazon and Family Dollar and all those different things. Get a pressure reader and you get that, and you can actually read the pressure of your tire and make sure you properly are filling up your tires and stuff. Yeah. And so with that.
Oh, also, you guys, I want to say, I know some people don't really do this, but try to at least keep a tire in the back of your car, okay? Because anything can happen. You could be on the road and then there's like 5 nails sticking up real high on the highway. You just driving off fast, you know what I'm saying? Then you hit them and then there go your tire. Because I've seen a couple of people like, you know, driving on the highway and like, oh my God, look, they're tired. You don't want to be embarrassed and you stand on the side of the highway, you know, waiting, you know, that you don't want to be in that position. So just keep that in mind, that have an extra tire, you know, that's part of maintenance, you know, having that extra tire in the back, you know, that's going to be your homeboy for life, that extra tire.
Yeah.
Because you're going to need a new one.
And I have been,
They gonna be your best.
Yeah,
girl, they gonna come in handy.
Cause that happened, when I was younger. My mom was driving on the road, and boom, one of the tires went out. And this is the time we was out of St. Louis. We were like, we're going somewhere. We were like going to a whole different state. And, she had to call her insurance, It'd be like that sometimes. So always have an extra tire. That's part of your maintenance, because you're not going to want to be flying on the road, then boom, 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 boom. That's up, boom, 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 boom. And then you trying to get off the highway. You might not even make it off of it.
Yeah. And I actually have had that experience. And the spare tire actually came in handy. I actually have had a blowout by myself on the highway.
Mm-hmm.
But with that being said, it kind of leads into, the different actual costs of keeping up a car, the in total cost of what you will usually spend on a car. So with this chart, it shows that you spend about 23 to 24% of your money on which you actually spent on the car is just basically on gas. You would spend 11%. If you're paying a car note, 11% of that actually goes towards the interest. So you're paying someone else to be able to pay for the loan and get the loan. 10% of it goes on insurance every month. And 4% is actually paying the taxes on the car. And it's actually funny, but 4% on paying on the maintenance. And if you guys notice, like the percents are really smaller on the stuff that you worry about. It's less. You have your taxes yearly and sometimes every 2 years. Maintenance, you hope not to get it done that often. Insurance, it's a bit up more because you pay for it every month, but sometimes it's a lot less smaller. Hopefully you get a better deal with your monthly payments. Fuel, we constantly have to put gas in our car, those different things. And interest, we just naturally pay that with the bill. And so kind of fast forward on how you can actually go about making a car. We know it might seem like a lot sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're just going to give you the 5 steps on actually breaking it down to making it be more obtainable and making it become a SMART goal of yours.
Okay. So the first thing you really want to do is research and know what kind of car and that you want, features that you want. That's very important, because also, you guys, like I said, you might not always get what you want, but it's also really good to have a goal. And if you believe it, you can achieve it. Just remember that. Don't, you guys can do it. You also want to check out the prices and figure out what you can and cannot afford. Like I said, you guys, needs versus wants. You don't want to buy a really nice car that's, new, and you can't even pay the bill. You can't even pay half of it. Now you in debt. Now you're sitting there like, dang, like that car is so nice. And now they towing my car. Ain't that crazy? You don't ever want to be in that situation. You want to get a car that you need and you can ride in it. It may not be the nicest, or it may be nice, you know, but it may not be your dream car. So also look at things that you can and cannot afford. Never, you know, put down some money that, you know, you can't complete, you know, buying. You don't want to do that. Figure out where to buy from. Also look at reviews. That's very important. I know, you know, a lot of people go places, you know, like when you want to go out to eat and stuff. I always look at the reviews, because the reviews can be saving your life. You don't ever want to, oh, I'm going to go to this place. Like, they look like they got nice cars, but you don't really know. They could have roaches in the car or something crazy. You know, you don't ever want to be in that situation. Yeah, and well, used cars. I'm gonna say that because I don't know any new cars. I mean, old cars, used cars. I don't know no new cars that have roaches or nothing like that. So also figure out where you're gonna buy it, look at the reviews, and evaluate your finances and figure out how you're gonna pay for the car. You know, like I said, you don't have a job, it's gonna be for you to take out a loan. I'm gonna be honest with you. So make sure you have a job and you'll be able to pay, you know, monthly payments for your car. So make sure you just evaluate everything, you know, sit down, make notes, write, make sure you're looking at everything and making sense, because we all have that sense of, oh, well, I'm going to just get on that line. I'm going to buy me a car. I'm going to drive off. You know, I'm going to get my, you know, just you living it like you looking at it like, oh, it's going to be so easy. But just know it's going to be steps to, you know, paying for that. And it's going to be steps for getting to that point where, you know, you can just drive off the lot. You're going to have to look at the situation. You're gonna have to evaluate everything. You're gonna have to write a list. You're gonna have to write a budget. It's more than to just buying a car, or you'll buy your car, but you're gonna get taken advantage of. You don't want that to happen. You don't want to be at that point. Like I said, find a trusted person to guide you through the process and start shopping. You know, it's just like you and your best friend. Say your best friend have a car. My best friend thinks she has a car, and you know, we be riding in it. You know, she's very, very good, and she had that car about 3 years. So, you know, I would have someone like her or my sisters who, you know, they've been driving, you know, for a long time. So I would have someone like them to guide me, because, you know, I don't really, you know, really know much about buying a car, but I learned a lot, you know, through money managers of buying a car. So it's very important to have someone that you can trust or that know a lot about cars, that's very wise, and they won't say, oh yeah, get that one because that's the cutest one on. You don't want them running like that. Have somebody like, okay, let's look at this car. Let's make sure, let's see how it runs. Let's see how this goes. Always have someone that can help you. That's very mature, okay? Because they will help you get that car and you'll have that car longer than 5, 6, 7 years down the line, okay? So that's very important. Keep that in mind. Yep. And Dania, do you want to put in anything?
I believe Amanda has a question.
Amanda have a question. Lisa, sorry.
Thank you. Oh, I was gonna mention, sorry, I almost forgot. Somebody in the chat asked a question, and her name is Anaya, and she wants to know what are some truthful mechanics or car places to go get your car checked and maintained with the oil change and so on.
This one I could vouch for personally because I'm going to get an oil change tomorrow. I kid you not. I go to Calvert's Express. I know a lot of times they go give deals like my oil change is going to be $25, and that's because it come with a free tire rotation. You know, they'll look at stuff if you need it done. But I could really vouch for Calvert's Express. If you bought your car from a dealership within your like 10,000 mile range and stuff, they'll usually go take a look at it and do it. But personally, you have to read your reviews and, you know, find those trustworthy ones, because someone who might be very experienced in skills and working on my car may not be the best experience and skills on working on your car. But advice I do have for you finding one is, you know, call and be like, hey, do you guys specialize in this? Read their reviews, ask for the different competing prices. And so sometimes the person who costs more, the quality might not be as good. And the same goes vice versa for lower prices. So you just check out and, just do like what your heart tells you and what the reviews is pushing you to. So yeah, so always be mindful of that. That's all.
She can go to Walmart. They don't pay that much.
Yeah, see,
My
Walmart.
mama got her. Yeah, my mama got her oil change and my sister from Walmart. They don't take that long. Like soon as you just like take your car up there, you can shop around and they go call on the intercom, let you know that your car ready. Just tell them what
Keep
type
in
of
mind,
oil you want.
try to be the earliest you can be, because let me tell you, sometimes Walmart, you will take a while. I went with my mom a few times.
It depends on what Walmart you go to though, because not all Walmart is good though. But if she go to like Walmart like in the county where the white people doing it, then yeah. But not all Walmarts like get done fast. They just put whatever oil they think is best that go in your car. That's why you have to be more specific and know what type of oil need to go in your car.
Yeah, but just keep in mind, sometimes it's not always going to be a,
Yeah, it do take
sometimes,
time.
yes, sometimes you'll probably go around 10, 11, and you have like 5 cars in front of you. So sometimes that does happen, but I know sometimes you got to go early, you have to, get up and go do what you need to do for your car. So it's very important. And Jenna, thank you.
Yeah, and especially from experience, like you have to become an old head when it's time to take care of business. And what I mean by old head, if you need to get up early and go do something, or you need to make sure all this is set up, that is important, because when you buy a car and get a car, you have to mature. Like Charity, she's a parent, so she actually has children that she has to maintain, watch, and all that. But for me, I don't have children, so my car is my baby, but I do find myself having to make sure she's good, paying for her. And she costs too, just like a kid. It might be some stuff that I might be able to last a little long with. She got to change diapers a little more often. Me, we got to change eyes every 3,000 miles. So yeah, it all varies. And with that being said, you kind of want to always have an emergency plan.
Most definitely.
Yes.
Always, look at.
All right.
Oh, I'm sorry. Always look at the future. That's very, 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 very important. But also look at the present. You need to plan, build good credit, wait to be financially established. That's very important. Do research and test drive. Keep your options open, but you also need to sit down and make a plan for you when you buy your car. That's very, very, very important.
Yeah. And with the plan, you want to, like make sure you put money aside, because your car might break down anytime. And like we said it before, kind of just like, putting that money up, maybe if your tire go flat or anything happen. I recently had to put in the alternator, which cost me $200, but I was prepared for the expense because I did put up money aside for that. So that's something you always want to make sure you do. So just naturally be prepared. I would say when you get a little money, put up maybe $20 each time and let that add up, because you don't know what happened. And so kind of like with us, we're going to talk about our dream car. So we know we talked about, gave a speech about all how to buy a car. So we're going to tell you about our dream cars. And one thing about our dream cars is our SMART goals for our car is different, because her car is a car that's more approachable within the next couple months to years to buy. Mine is going to take a couple years because of the price of my car. I have a Jeep Grand Cherokee. I love cars. It's a Trackhawk. The prices range from 50 to 90,000, sometimes even more. The horsepower is 707. And Grand Cherokee has been a good quality of a car for forever. But you got to make a plan to get it. And so with that plan, we talked about all this time, mine is building up that good credit, creating that financial stability. I actually got a plan. I don't want my car souped up. I just want the basic Trackhawk. And I've actually done some research that it's actually cheaper to go soup it up yourself rather than go buy it from the dealership souped up with the extra exhaust pipes and all of that. It's cheaper to do it yourself. So that's something I'm planning on doing. I'm a car girl. I love some speed. So that's what it's going. I'm gonna let Charity hit on her dream car real quick.
Okay, mine's is not all fancy like hers. But keep in mind, I got 2 kids, so I can't be driving a monster truck like that or Jeep like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I want my, it's just not for me. I'm a small person. I'm 4'11", I'm short. You know what I'm saying? So I want a mommy car. A little. I got my dream car is a Toyota Corolla. So that's my dream car. And that's something that I'm saving up for, and by the end of this year, I will have that baby, but I had to, think about my wants and needs, and I always wanted, a Toyota. So, that's nothing new, but, I always look at your wants and needs, I can't ride a car like that. I'm too short. I can't be doing that. Hopping up there, like and I wear glasses too, you guys. So I can't be doing all this. And, I wouldn't fit that. I really wouldn't. But yes, this is my dream car, you guys. And I feel like this was good for me because, I'm a mom and I have 2 boys. So this is perfect for me. No more kids for me, but this is perfect for me.
And kind of going like off our 2 dream cars, and like she touched on saying like it's different for everybody. My monster truck, as she say, or my need for speed thing is too much for her.
Right, I might can't take that speed. I might fly out the car. I can't do that.
And so like knowing that we all got different dream cars, it's your turn. So now that we gave you this valuable information on what you need to do and look for into a car, and doing your research about it, we're gonna give y'all about a good 5 to 8 minutes. Time got a little short, but we're gonna give them a good 5 to 8 minutes to kind of figure out some general information about your car. Is like the price range, the make and model, the year, and all those different. So a couple of different things. So we at least want y'all to come back with the price, what kind of car it is, and what's some potential places you could buy from, because we've noticed that when you set a SMART goal, actually have an objective or a finish line. And at least when you see that, it helps. But before we let y'all go on this break, I'm gonna let Amanda ask her question really quickly. There we go. Bring it back in.
I don't know why that's not going away. I didn't push it. It's still there. I don't have a question, but I was just going to say that since we're running short on time, let's just have everyone share what their dream car is, and then you can spend time researching outside of this workshop. Does that sound good?
Okay.
So if anyone wants to share what their dream car is.
I want a Tesla. I want a Tesla. A Tesla. You know the car that drive on its own?
Oh, a Tesla.
Tesla. A car that drive on its own, where you can be on the highway on your phone watching a movie while the car just driving, all of that. And my car, that car cost $40,000. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna save up and get it. That's my goal, is to get my dream car. I don't care about none of that.
Okay, you can do it. I'm pretty sure you can. Anyone can get your dream car.
As long as you're making that plan.
Yeah, sometimes you got to start off with the used car.
I just got to play the lottery every day, and hopefully that I win one day.
You will. I'm pretty sure you will. I'm most definitely sure you will. Plan to achieve, and when you put your mind into it, you can do anything. Anyone else?
Right. When I win the lottery, I'm gonna shout y'all out.
Okay, appreciate it. So look, send me about $1 million.
Send us some love money.
Right, send us some love money. Okay, anyone else?
In Cozy.
Oh, in Cozy.
Yeah, my dream car is a 2014 Mercedes G-Wagon. And yeah, this is a really nice car. I think it's really cool looking, and I like those, sort of big body kind of cars. And,
I wish you were big body. So in the chat, we have I believe it's Miss Raven. I might not be saying it right. Hold on. She would like a Saturn, but she want black interior. No, black with white interiors in a BMW i8. So go on, girl. She know what she wants.
She's a stepper.
Okay, I see Alexis with the Hellcat Charger. I'm feeling you on the Dodge.
Okay.
And I see Mary Jean.
That's a dude. Y'all just said a girl. That was a dude.
I'm so sorry. I just looked at the name right. I'm so sorry. Then we have, hold on. Okay. Somebody wanna, okay, this chat is really having fun with me. A 2017 Hyundai Ascent. What else we got going? A used Chevy truck. Okay.
Okay. I'm with the Chevys, but not the truck.
A
part.
McLaurin. They said, why not? Why not? Okay. So I'm glad y'all got it in y'all mind. So what I want y'all to do is actually go look up how much these cars cost. Don't be afraid to put your mind in that zone. So with all the information we gave y'all today, here's some fun facts. If you all don't get the rest of this right now, we are sending out the Zoom call. A basic couple things is sales tax is basically the usage tax. So it's basically what that is. Is it a McLaurin? All right, McLaurin. I'm gonna stop saying the word before I mess it up. Ask the dealership /seller for a track record, which is basically, how many cars have y'all did? What's the reliability? It actually withstands in a trust, and see how honest they are. You could get an inspection through your personal mechanic, which we talked on. Like we said, never sign on the first thing you see. Always make sure you are in charge. And when people reference to the sticker price /window price, everything has a suggested price. Even when you go to the corner store, it say $2 for $1. That's how much they suggest. Even cars have those. Those are on the window. So always try to make sure you get closest to or even cheaper than the window /sticker price. Always consider the upkeep of the car, the maintenance. If this car takes a lot of maintenance, that might not be the car for you. Always think about some brands are more expensive. I think we naturally know that. Those McLaurins, them BMWs, them cost more than a Nissan or a Toyota or a Honda. Those cost a little bit more. And always I want you guys to think, just to face the reality, cars today a lot of times are made to be disposable, not fixable. That's why a lot of times older cars do better. But nowadays, the cars are made with a lot of cheap material. So it is meant for you to sometimes go buy a new car every couple of years. That's what they want you to think. But if you take care of it, it's going to do what it do. So I'm not a player head of old cars. Mine's pushing and thriving. So just keep that in mind. And we're going to fast forward to the other part. We're going to keep asking for it. Is there any questions?
I got a question. So at a young age, if you like under 18, why do you need a parent to like back you up for when you're trying to buy a car? Like,
So a lot of times that comes.
My cousin, he 18, but he needed his parent to like back him up for him to actually get the car.
So there is a difference between having a cosign and having a person who, who actually has to put their name on the card. When you're under 18, your parents have to get the name of their card. But maybe in this case, since he's already 18, his parents may have had the cosign for him, which is important to let the dealer know, like I said earlier, that, hey, if you can't pay this payment, I need somebody who can, and that kind of falls on that person. So please be careful, whatever you co-sign, a car, credit card, a bill, please be careful, because the co-sign is basically that backup source of the dealership still gonna get paid at the end of the day, whether you paying for or the person that co-signed for you. So yeah.
Do we have any more questions?
Really fast, can you guys go back to the fun fact slide? There were some important things on there. And then we're gonna save questions. So basically, we're gonna talk about those fun facts real fast, and then turn the floor to me, and then we'll take care of a few other things, and then we'll have time for questions for anyone that has them to stay on after we discuss everything that needs to be discussed.
A fun fact, you guys. If you go to a dealership, buy the car at the end of the month because salesman wants to meet their quota. So that's another fun fact. You guys didn't know that. Try to buy a car at the end of the month, you know?
Yeah, they don't care what they sell and how much they sell at that point.
They don't care. Cars lose half of its value every 3 years. So, hey, you may not get the car that your dream car, but you could get a car that, that's your second car. And it may be around your, budget, your price that, you want to buy and put down. Okay. Get a car loan through a credit union, and it's recommended, you guys. So just always know that you guys can keep your options open, and
yeah, so basically, like we said before, credit unions, kind of build their personal relationship and it's willing to, extend themselves to actually give you a lower interest rate and give you more money. So kind of sometimes they'd be like, hey, we'll give you the money and you have more of an actual better chance and a better opportunity when you get your loan through your credit union. And also, like we talked about before, dealerships prey on lack of knowledge. Like we said, go in with your list. They want you to make quick decisions. Say no, player. I took time on my day, time on my year, time on my month. No, we're gonna do this right. We're gonna do what I want and we're gonna take it slow and easy. And you ain't never gotta settle. You the boss. Always negotiate. You just as the sales rep as they are. You're gonna sales rep your money just for that. Step, kind of negotiate the sale price. Even when you trading in maybe an older car, be like, hey man, I know my car worth more than this, because a lot of different times they are gonna try to get you on a lot of different things. That I know my car worth more than this. Let's be honest. That is a small thing, because you have to think about they're gonna take your car and go flip it after they fix those small issues.
Right.
The return profit of it, and from buying it from you is cheaper, especially if they think that your car not worth anything. So always stand on your own 2 feet about certain things. And make sure you check out those warranties, because sometimes they are really petty about those. So.
Right, and make sure you check your car before you buy, because some dealers should be selling you broke cars, and then you come back and return it, and they want to lie and say that, oh, it wasn't like that when you bought it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the topic that we just talked about earlier. Don't let them manipulate you. You got the nice car on the outside. Just like, don't judge a book by its cover. A lot of people do that. Oh, that car nice. I'm gonna get that car if you want to. It's broke down. You don't want that. Make sure you evaluate, you plan, you have someone with you, and you're being realistic about your goals and the plan that you have on buying a car, you guys. Please don't let these dealerships manipulate you. You know how the people be, give me $5 or $50 and I'll give you $5,000. Don't let that happen, because they be trying to do that on Snapchat and act like they flip. So don't do that. Okay. Don't let no one manipulate you. You know how they do, especially all the girls who that go to the nail shop. You know how they do. So don't be in that position, okay, you guys? Okay. Any questions? Oh, Amanda, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Okay, so a few things before we get to questions. I want to make sure I touch on 3 things. First, if you guys complete the survey that we will send in an email in a couple of days, and you stayed the full length of this PD, then You guys will be entered into 2 drawings, one for a quick trip gift card from STL Youth Jobs. And then you will also be entered into a drawing for a Walmart gift card from the Young Money Managers. So keep that in mind. Make sure you complete the survey so we know how we did. The second thing is that we have our 3rd PD workshop next Wednesday from 5 to 7 p.m. and it is on credit building. So we touched on credit a little bit in this presentation about why having a higher credit score is going to help you in the long run. So if you want to learn more information about how to build your credit, please register and attend the session that we have next week. And then 3rd thing is that we just want to thank you for your attendance. We want to thank you for your participation. Thank you for being here so we can share this knowledge that we have learned on car buying. We have learned so many things this summer, and it's you guys make it possible for us to share everything that we have learned. So thank you for being here. Like I said, an email will be sent out to all of you guys about, it'll have the survey link in there. It will have the resources, including a couple of videos that we found that will be really helpful for you guys to watch, just to have a different perspective. And then a flyer that has some takeaways from this presentation, as well as the recording of this. So make sure you are on the lookout for that. If you don't receive it, let us know so we can send it to you. And then there are a few people with hands up. I guess just John A. Did you have a question?
I got a question for you. If Kaylin asked if I attend the meeting, can you tell her, yeah, I'm trying to spell back.
Okay.
Also, guys, so yeah, like she said, we have our credit building next week. Myself and Jeremiah are going to be running that, so we hope to see you out again. Very excited to see the same faces and new faces next week. So
why y'all meetings is from 5 to 7? Because every other meeting be like from 3 to 4. Why y'all like from 5 to 7?
Because that's just the time that we meet every Wednesday from 4 to 7:30. And so that's, we wanted to keep it consistent with their schedule. There's the flyer on the credit building workshop. And then now that we have 1 minute left, but basically if anyone has any questions, I will be on to answer any questions. So I see somebody just raised their hand. If you have questions, stay on and we will be happy to answer them. But anyone else, if you don't have any questions and you're needing to go, you are able to hop on out. But for those that have a question, I will be with you. Oh, and by Asia, thank you for your time. Oh, thank you for being here. We love sharing this information. Thank you guys so much. And then Araya, do you have a question?
Yes, it's Aria, but
sorry.
It's okay. I was asking, this is my first time being on here, so like I know we getting paid to go to these meetings. So will the $20 will go to our paycheck or will it come separately?
That is a really good question. It really depends on when your time is entered for this workshop. Pretty sure since if you attended today, this is in a new pay period. So you should be paid for this on I don't have my calendar on me, but basically in 2 weeks. So not next week, but the week after, you should be paid for this workshop.
Somebody just said we don't get $20, we get a gift card.
No, you guys get paid $20 for every workshop that you attend. The gift card is a drawing, so not everybody will get a gift card. The people that are lucky enough to win one will get one. Did someone have another person have a question? Anaya?
Yeah, I typed it in the chat, but I couldn't ask it out loud.
Sure.
I was just wondering, how old should we go back to get a good car that lasts long?
Okay, so basically you're asking to get a used car, what would be a reliable year to buy the car? I guess. Okay, so basically it just depends on the brand, the make and model of the car. Some makes and models last longer than others. Ford is a really good brand. I've only had Fords. It really just depends on the ratings of the car, and I would just research. That would be a good question for Google, because I can't just say, oh, this is a good car for this from this year. You have to just do your research and kind of figure out what works for you, what kind of car. If you want like SUV, or if you're wanting more of a car or a truck, it just all depends. So that would be a good thing to research.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Most definitely, because I'm a Chevy girl, so I've been a Chevy fan my whole life, and my car right now is a Chevy, and I can't tell you the year to go back that far because I'm in 97, so we over 20 years old. So can't tell you how far to go back, and in some cars that's older than mine, they still run really good.
Mm-hmm.
Just research.
Okay.
And then Terrence, you have a question?
So how long will we be doing these? Like, when will all these meetings stop? Like,
I can't hear you.
How long will we be doing these meetings?
Sorry, I can't hear you.
I said, how long will we be doing these meetings?
Oh, so these are optional for you to attend. Are you mean like how long is this one today?
Like, is it through the whole year, or is it just to the end of the summer?
This is just over the summer. So we have 2 more sessions. The next one is next Wednesday, the 28th. And then the last one is on August 4th. So the ones that we are presenting they end August 4th, but there are more, I think, after that. They don't go through the year. This is just for the summer.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're
I had
welcome.
3 more. Somebody just added one on there. Like, I
What'd you
literally just think another one of y'all had, like, y'all got 4, right? Or
We have 4 total.
how many did y'all do already?
This is our second.
Okay. Oh yeah, and I had a. What if you have like a 2004 car, and like say if it broke down, but other dealerships like don't have the parts to it, then what?
You can look at other dealerships, take it anytime the dealership says they can't do something, take it to another dealership.
Because it's an old car, like they don't have the parts to it no more.
You're saying like no dealership has the
Yeah,
access
like
to that?
yeah, like my mama had a Nissan, but I don't know what year it was. It was just they was just telling her that it's real old, and we had got into like a car accident with her car, and they couldn't fix her car because it was old, or it was like the oldest car ever, but it was like still looking new.
So
and they told her that they couldn't do nothing with it because it's an old car and they don't have any more parts to it. Like
right, and sometimes that can happen. I mean, junkyards. The purpose for a junkyard is to take cars apart and save the parts that are working and usable. And sometimes with an old car, there's no more usable parts. So yeah, that's I guess a downside of having a really old used car.
But she was still like paying the car note off on it.
Yeah, you got to pay off your car. That's money that you're borrowing from the bank. They still want that money back.
For her,
usable or not, you got to pay that car off.
So is she still paying the car note off on it? And if she like, if it break down on her, she still have to like pay the car note for it, even if
you got to pay that car off. You got to pay the car off because basically the bank or whoever you got your loan through paid that car for you. And so you're expected to pay that bank or credit union back for that amount that you're borrowing from them. Does that make sense? It'll, if you don't pay off.
So why pay? I'm saying like, why pay it off if y'all don't have like the part to the car anymore? So like, why keep paying it off?
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, go ahead.
Because it's going to impact your credit score. If you don't pay off a loan, that looks really, really bad on your credit score.
Okay, it makes sense.
Yeah, so you got to pay that. They gave you the loan because they trust you to pay them back. And if you don't pay it back, then it's gonna look really bad on your history, your credit history. And then it's gonna make it harder for you to get a loan because they see, oh, you haven't paid this bank back. We don't trust you to pay our loan, so you don't get this loan. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay. Thank you.
you're welcome. Any other questions?
Is that it from you all? All right.
I guess we're good.
Yep. Charity is coming right back to say her goodbyes. Oh, and look, we noticing all the love in the chat. I know we might not be able to respond to it, but throughout the presentation, I seen all the love. And I just want to let y'all know we see it and we thank y'all.
We love y'all. Thank
If
you.
Caitlin asked y'all, have I been in y'all group chat participating? Say yes. If she say I've been walking around, say no. I'm trying to come back to work. I gotta join all these Zoom classes and be professional so I can get back. If she asks, have I been in y'all Zoom class and participate? Say yes.
Hey,
Yeah,
you
definitely
did a great job.
You did a great job, Johnny.
Even touched on some things we kind of forgot about.
I'm trying to come back to work. I gotta join every Zoom class it is and all of that. So I gotta be professional.
Okay.
You got it though.
You got
Just
it,
keep
girl.
doing it.
Okay,
Thank y'all.
Is that all from anyone? Any questions, any remarks? Okay, thank you guys so much for joining. Randy.
Right. And see you all next Wednesday.
Wednesday.